Imagination on me couldn't hold me back. They're gonna I can't forget. Cigarette.
All right, what's up, guys? Sorry about that. For some reason, it wasn't even letting me on. But what's up, Eddie? How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good right now. I have my own stream, but I had to cancel it because I made a video. I was talking for like 30 minutes. I was like, ah, f this. I'm good for
Y-
today.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that you were gonna stream on Saturday, and I was waiting
Yeah,
for that. And then I checked, like, you know how on YouTube it lets you check
yeah,
who's gonna go live. Yeah,
yeah,
I was like, oh, I guess Eddie's not streaming today, so I just was like, hey, I'll do my own stream.
yeah.
But
No, it would have been fun, but I was like, nah, I'm good. I already wasted all my my breath and shit making one video.
yeah, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna try reading some comments. We already have some people. I did take a break from YouTube for like a week, but I'm back now, and I have a dog who's right now he's under a pile of clothes right now, so he might make a cameo in a bit. But let me read some comments right now from Antonio. I'm lost. I am gonna tease something. I am gonna tease something in a little bit. Even Eddie doesn't know what I'm teasing. I did make a video on it, so we are gonna watch it in a little bit because there is something I do want to tease because there's a project I'm doing on the channel, which I won't tell you, but throughout time you'll figure it out. Then we had
One day,
Kamala said reverse mix.
one day we'll get that Spanish stream. Trust me, one day we'll get it.
Yeah, you know what, Eddie, I'm gonna let you take over for right now because I'm gonna change these headphones because this one's only singular, but I'll be back.
Yeah, I got you. What's up, everyone? No, I have my own stream plan because people were comparing the Batman's box office and its situations to Batman versus Superman, and I was like, no, hell no. Let me get on. Let me get on my stream real quick and talk about it. But in my head, I was like, I wasted the last 30 minutes making my own video about something else that winded me. So I was like, never mind, I can't do this. I'm already tired.
All right,
But
I'm back.
it's coming tomorrow. I think I'll do it tomorrow. The stream.
All right. Oh yeah, you're. I know when I checked the who's when you're streaming, it did say tomorrow. But we have 6 people in the chat. I put a poll, but it won't let me see that too. But where is okay? So Kamu says Mad Max is hacking the stream. Yeah, I was surprised that I found out Max was streaming, or he streamed early because I was at work today, and then I got a notification saying Max is streaming. I'm like, really early in the afternoon? But yeah, me and Eddie are supposed to do Spanish. You know what? Let's do it right now. Everyone, no, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure only like 2 people here know Spanish in the chat. Uh, but we have Mando Man. What's up, Mando Man? He says hello, hello, man. And then Cool Guy says Eddie's afro is blocking the satellite signal. And then always, oh, never mind. I thought he bit something. And then always remember says hey. Then Kama says John Tron and the BBS lover. Yeah. And then Cool Guy says yo Eddie Guns. I like how most of the chat has been saying that Eddie loves BVS or that he loves Batman killing. But yeah, I am gonna tease some. I'm not gonna say much, but I'm just gonna. I think he's crying. I don't know. For those wondering why the door is open, that's because the dang dog doesn't like staying in one place. Oh crap! I think it's crying. But let's ignore that for right now. I'm gonna play this clip, and I'm not gonna say too much, but we're gonna let this clip do all the talking. That's all I'm gonna leave up there. But I did realize I spelled coming wrong. But anyways, we don't really have any major topics. We are gonna do across the multiverse on Thursday, I believe, and I'm gonna keep that anonymous until when the stream is set up, so that way when you see the thumbnail and title, you'll know it by then. Then Kamu puts his emoji in. You know what's something I've been meaning to talk about since this entire week? So I have this weird, ever since I started YouTube, one thing that's one thing that's always been on my mind is when there's something that's movie news, my quick reaction is to go to the computer and just record a video or at least find the article, then record the video. And I think Eddie can relate to that. But this week I didn't have that. I didn't have that. I couldn't do that. And so this entire week, all the Morbius news, everything was, it was so frustrating not being able to go in front of the computer and do a Morbius rant. But I'm not gonna spoil Morbius, even though I already know what the post credit and all that. I do want to talk a little bit about the Morbius stuff because it really frustrated me, and I believe Eddie has a video on his channel, so y'all can go check that out. Um, so this week, now I'm gonna say this right now. The rumors may not be true. They're not coming from the most reliable sources. Now we do know there have been people who watched the movie already. Um, I know the review embargo is the first thing that really put all the tick me off because I've always believed that movies should have the confidence of letting the review embargo lift a week prior. So that way the people watching, they have enough time to read the reviews, think about it and all that. But I found out they're not gonna lift the review embargo until Thursday, which is the exact day that I'm gonna go watch it. Because I'm gonna go watch it even if Rotten Tomatoes has like 300 reviews and it's 0%, I'm still gonna watch it because I already got my tickets and I love going to the movies. But the review embargo won't lift till Thursday. That's a big worry. But there were rumors coming out saying that all the things teasing Spider-Man, because the trailers, the marketing, everything has been set up to be this big, oh my god, multiverse, oh my god, Spideyverse, all that. But apparently some of the rumors have been saying, that we aren't going to get any of that. And in fact, they cut out a lot of it and that Michael Keaton's reduced to a post-credit scene. Now, I didn't believe it, but after what we heard yesterday, and again, I'm going to try my best not to spoil anything, but after what we heard yesterday, I won't deny that that's a possibility at this point because yesterday, by the way, when Sony has their actors or actresses or directors or anyone working in the film, anytime there's like a, I don't know, like a interview or something, Sony greenlights when can it come out or when it can be released to the public. So Sony greenlit this, but Sony greenlit an interview with the director of Morbius, confirming what the post credit scenes are, confirming, some of the things happening. And I won't lie to you, when I read it, the first thing that popped in my head was no confidence at all. There's no confidence in this movie at all. And it made me frustrated because, you just came off of Spider-Man No Way Home. And look, to be fair, Morbius was never going to reach that height, even if Morbius was the greatest movie since Godfather Part 2. But with that being said, Morbius was never expected to do that. But yesterday, when they revealed everything, when they said things like this, it really screamed, "Oh my god, we're not confident at all." And this feels like the opposite of No Way Home, where they were hiding things because they knew that what they were hiding was special for the cinematic experience. But with Morbius, it seems like they realized, "Oh, we don't have anything." And all so far, the early reviews or the early reactions have not been good. Some of them even saying this is the worst, one of the worst comic book movies of all time. Now, to be fair, the first Venom movie had something similar, where when the first Venom movie came out, some critics were saying that it was Catwoman level bad, and it ended up doing really well in the box office. It ended up doing really well critically and audience, or not critically, but audience wise, because I think critics, gave it a 30% or something like that. But with that being said, you know, with Morbius, it's not just that it seems like the critics don't like it. It seems like Sony themselves don't like this movie. And it gets me worried because you see all the promotion for Spideyverse this, Spideyverse that, and they might cut it all off. Now, I don't care about cameos. I don't care about little specifics in movies. To me, the only way to make a good movie is you make a good movie. It's why I remember, if you watch some of my old streams, anytime we were asked about Toby and Andrew, my first thoughts was, I just hope they do it well. That's my first thoughts. I never really cared if they were in it or not. I mean, I cared, but I didn't care enough to where I was like, you have to put them in there. But with Morbius, when they released all this information, to me, what it seems is there's either two things that they fear. Sony either fears that this movie is so bad that they want to put something out there, or they realize they haven't marketed well. It could be both. For all we know, maybe Morbius is the best comic book movie of all time, which I doubt, but for all we know that. But before I ramble on, because I noticed I rambled on a little too much, I want to get Eddie's thoughts on this. Eddie, what do you think about them revealing little specifics of Morbius?
Well, I made 3 videos about Morbius, the more whole Morbius situation, how false advertisement, false marketing, everything. They've been heavily using Michael Keaton's character to narrate on a trailer or show them in the actual trailers themselves. And but now we're hearing that he's not going to be in the movie at all. If not, he had a few scenes, but everything was cut and then reduced him to a post credit scene, and that's it. And the fact that the director himself is even revealing the actual plot details of that and just spoiling the movie means that they know that, damn, you guys really don't have any confidence at all. And like I said, the whole situation, I don't know if anyone's gonna sue them because of that, because that is a Karen move. I'm not gonna lie, but it reminds me of when someone sued Warner Brothers for Suicide Squad because Jared Leto wasn't really that much at all in the movie, even though they kept on using him in the trailers.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's weird that Sony's doing this. It means they probably have no confidence, especially when the Rotten Tomatoes stuff is not going to come out until the actual day of the movie, which is like, damn, you guys are are trying to like I said, I think for the people who have seen it, for the people, even though they can't express they can't really show their actual scores or their spoiler reviews. A lot of people are saying this movie's bad, inconsistent, it's boring, has no Easter eggs, this and that. And the MCU element was the only thing that people really cared about, Vulture, because nobody's hyped for this movie. I'm sorry, nobody's hyped for this movie. But when we saw Keaton, we were like, oh, that's Vulture, that's Adrian Toomes. And then we find out that he's just gonna have like one post credit scene. So it's like, what's the point? Or two, I guess. But it's like, what's the point? And like, and even with that, it's like, well, it is MCU, but at the same time, it's not, because that has some stuff to do with No Way Home that didn't make sense in terms of the spell with Doctor Strange, bringing those people into the Sonyverse, even though that's not how the spell works. So it's like, Sony's trying to do damage control without the movie even being out yet. So that's like, damn.
Yeah, and let me get to comments right now. We have Antonio in the chat. What's up, Antonio? Then cool guy says Leto can't get a break in these hero movies. I'll say this right now: if Morbius fails critically, audience wise, and financially, if it fails in all three aspects, I Jared Leto's never doing comic book movies, and I think that's gonna be a personal choice because I think by this point, Jared's gonna just realize, what's the point? Kind of like Ben Affleck, although Ben Affleck was a different scenario. That was more because he had a very public divorce out there. But yeah, if this movie fails in all three categories, we're gonna now have to question whether Jared Leto is even gonna do any more comic book movies. Now, to be fair, they're highly likely Sony has a contract with Jared Leto saying you have to do this amount of films and all that if we require you to. But it is what it is. And then the cool guy says, in Venom 2, the after credit scenes eclipse the whole movie. Yeah, but to be fair on Venom with the Carnage, the entire marketing wasn't Spideyverse. In fact, I think only once did Tom Hardy ever say multiverse is a possibility. But if you look at the trailers and all that, they never seem to really tease Spideyverse. And then the movie itself, like if you take away the post credit, I had a lot of fun with it. Most people had a lot of fun with it. It did very well financially. That movie stands on its own. But with Morbius, the marketing has been, oh, there's a chance Spider-Man shows up. Oh, there's a chance multiverse is explored or something like that. But yeah, I can say that. But and Antonio says, lol, no way. King Cucumber says, what's your most anticipated film for the remainder of 2022? I'm gonna have to so I have this bad tendency where I forget, like, every year when a year starts off, I like to think about all the movies coming out, and then I think, what's the top three most excited? But I also have that bad tendency that I forget some certain movies coming out. But from the top of my head, the one I can say I'm most excited for is probably Doctor Strange Multiverse. Madness. Prior to this was the Batman. But Eddie, what's your most anticipated movie for the remainder of 2022?
Like I said, I don't know what to say anymore. It would have been probably Black Adam if they didn't push back to Slate.
Oh yeah,
But I'm not gonna say Super Pets. I know that for a fact. But I guess it has to be Multiverse of Madness. This is so close to releasing anyway, and it does seem like an interesting movie with Sam Raimi behind it, and all the multiversal aspects. Wanda possibly being evil in this movie. And some of the stuff like Patrick Stewart as back as Charles Xavier, all the different multiversal stranges, lots of what if tie-ins too.
yeah.
Um, but I think I'll say for sure that one. Like I said, that the Illuminati being in it and all that stuff, seems very interesting. I would say Black Adam, but after it's over.
Yeah, I don't even remember if I did oh no, no, I did a singular video on the Warner Brothers things, but yeah. And Antonio says the director literally spoils the movie with that interview on Cinema Blend. Lol. Yeah, well, I will ask everyone in the chat not to spoil what the post credit is exactly because that was revealed by the directors. But even though it is public and it's practically impossible to hide from the description, I do ask everyone in the chat not to spoil it. We can talk, but let's try not to, because I am trying my best not to spoil it. And then Antonio says Jared Leto going to be Ben 2.0, I guess. All right, lol. But you would think that a week prior to the movie coming out, and I actually did make a quick video yesterday, but I ended up deleting it because I rushed it too much. I thought it was too much. So I'll just say in this video, Morbius, you would think a week prior to the movie coming out, the entire thing would be, let's get excited for Jared Leto. Let's get excited for this vampire thriller kind of horror slash, well, not a horror, but horror slash action adventure movie. You would think that the week prior you'd have, it's kind of like the Batman. When they did the Batman, you had a lot of, Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Andy Serkis, Paul Dano, Jeffrey Wright, all of them interviewing, all of them talking about how excited they are. But when I look at everything, I look at all the promotions, it's just Jared Leto saying multiverse is a possibility. I didn't even know who the villain of this movie was going to be until the second trailer. But it seems like this movie is not confident in of itself. And the big question we have to ask is, how can you expect the audience or anyone planning on watching this movie, how do you expect them to be confident if the studio themselves show no confidence? And then the whole review embargo coming out just the exact day of the movie. that's embarrassing already. It seems like they're scared of what the critics are going to say and everything. It's starting to get, I'm still gonna hope this movie. And like Eddie said, almost no real. The reality is nobody is hyped up for it. And I even said this on the other stream we did. I said that let's say right now they announce that Morbius won't come out till October. I won't really even be that disappointed. And I'll even say this. So one of my most unpopular opinions ever on in movie has always been that I didn't like the first Sonic movie, even though I grew up loving the video games. I loved a lot of the games. I'm not much of a gamer, but Sonic was definitely one of the games I played. Um, but and I was even excited for the first movie, even after that first trailer. When they played Gangsta's Paradise, which that's I always laugh when I rewatch that trailer how they had that song chosen for the trailer, but the movie itself didn't really live up to it. I was left disappointed, and you around the time when they released the second trailer for Morbius and the second trailer for Sonic 2, I I told myself I'm excited. I'm more excited for Morbius than I am for Sonic 2, even though I'm not that much excited for Morbius. But now, just a week before Morbius comes out, without Sonic having to do anything, I'm already more excited for Sonic 2, just because the early reactions are already out there for Sonic 2. The promotion has seemed to the promotions for the movie have been good. It seems like they're confident in what they have. And that's what I like that Sonic 2 is doing. Even though I'm actually gonna say I do think Sonic 2 is gonna be a far better movie than the first Sonic, because I didn't really like the first one, but I don't expect Morbius to do much, and that's my fear. I always hope. I don't know how there are some fans out there who hope for a movie to fail. Like I was talking to one of my YouTube buddies a couple of days ago, and he or not days but weeks, and he said that he hoped Batman flopped so that the Snyderverse gets restored. And I was thinking to myself, wait, even if you are a Snyder fan, which I am, why would you want a movie to flop? Nobody like even if Batman flopped, if Batman did flop, it's not like Warner Bros is gonna be like, oh, let's call Zack Snyder, let's call him back, let's get him back on board. They're not gonna do that. Their first thought is gonna be like, oh, I guess Batman flopped, which it didn't, obviously, because it's doing really well. Um, but it is worrying to see the position Morbius is currently in. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna hope this movie is better than the promotions. Kind of like Free Guy, where I thought the Free Guy's trailers were good, but the movie itself was far better than the promotion. I am gonna hope Morbius surprises the world. Because right now they are gonna need a miracle to pull off like at least a half decent movie. Because and I even rewatched the trailers and I noticed the trailers are replaying a lot of the clips, a lot of the same clips. The movie is already like the movie is I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes. So it feels like they cut out a lot already. I don't know. And I'm even going to make this prediction. So this movie was supposed to come out in January. And a lot of people theorized that the reason why they pushed it to April was because of reshoots or editing, or it was mainly editing. Some people even theorized an Andrew Garfield cameo, which I till this day never believed. Um, I'm actually going to say this. I think the reason why Morbius changed his date was because around January, Sony realized, oh crap, we're coming off this momentum from Spider Man No Way Home. People are still watching No Way Home. No Way Home is doing freaking amazing box office wise. Is Morbius gonna do that? And I feel like part of it to me was that Sony thought to themselves, or the Sony executives thought to themselves, maybe let's push it forward so that way we allow No Way Home to have more time as the focus. That way it doesn't overshadow Morbius, which either way, let's be honest, more people are excited to get their Blu-ray copies of No Way Home than they are to watch Morbius. But I don't think I've ever asked Eddie, Eddie, why do you think they actually pushed it forward? Do you think I'm just wearing a tinfoil hat, or do you think I have some chance of possibly being right? What are your thoughts on that?
Which movie?
Oh, it's this little indie movie. You know that one guy from House of Gucci? Yeah, he's doing like a Twilight spin-off movie. I don't know.
You're talking about Morbius still? I was
Yeah.
I was paying attention to something else. Look, I don't know, man. I really don't care about this movie that much. I'm still gonna see it because obviously because of the Marvel brand, but it's like I don't know. To be honest, I think either way. I'm pretty sure. Even in my head, I was like, yeah, it's still gonna get shit on either way. And the movie's not even out yet, and there's already talking. I just looked at Twitter right now, and they're projecting that it's gonna have a $15 million opening weekend, which is like,
Not very
but
good.
but what can I say? Keep giving us the Sonyverse people.
Yeah, and I remember we even did a stream together where we were talking about how much longer can Sony go with these anti-hero movies, because that was my word. Now, I've always said that you can make a good movie out of anything, but it wasn't just that. Me and Eddie had that concern of, you have Craven, then you have Madam Web, you have people who have been villains, and it seems like they're going with bad guy who has a certain motivation and they turn good for a bit. It seems like that pattern.
The thing about it, which is stupid, Sony has control over Spider-Man. Obviously, the smartest thing to do is Amazing Spider-Man 3 and probably a Spider-Man 4. Like those two movies will definitely make them that money. But like I said, I don't know. They could do what I guess they just don't. I know the Spider-Verse stuff is good, but it's like obviously that's animation. So people want live action stuff as well. And I guess keep milking the Spider-Man brand, or you want to guess keep giving us these villain movies that they turn to heroes or spin-offs or whatever else. Like I don't know. It's the whole Sonyverse shit is stupid in my opinion, but they're gonna keep doing it as long as stuff like Venom keeps making money at least. Because Venom the first Venom made a lot of money. Second one didn't, but it's caused a pandemic. But
Yeah.
that even though the critics shitted on those movies, they're still successful enough to keep giving us more, I guess.
Yeah, and one thing I am hoping, now that you brought it up, is I'm hoping that I believe Craven is the next movie to come out. What I'm hoping is when Craven comes out, their whole promotion isn't just Spider-Man, Spideyverse, Multiverse. I'm hoping that they just promote it as, hey, we have Adam Taylor Johnson, we have Russell Crowe, we have all these talented actors. And this is why you should come watch the movie, instead of what Morbius has done, which is let's try to reference Spider-Man in some case because Morbius isn't cool enough. Which, to be fair, I can't blame Sony for being a little worried because Morbius isn't all that well known, especially to the general audience. But still, you would think that you would market this movie as, hey, look, we have this cool vampire, Jared Leto's here. Instead, now they're just like, oh, let's hope people accidentally think that Spider-Man shows up. But anyways, then SSK dot says, what war? Okay, so that's just for the title. That's just for the future of this channel. It's not anything like there's no war at Sony, or at least not that I know of. So that's more just something happening on the channel, which I did talk about early on the stream. Anyways, K Dot says the Morbius director spoiled the movie today. Yeah, yeah, he spoiled it, and the thing that makes it worse is Sony agreeing with this interview. Like Sony allowed Cinema Blend to post this interview an entire week before the movie comes out. Maybe if it was like a couple of days, maybe like the first Saturday the movie comes already came out, I'd be fine with that. But really, an entire week, even before the hardcore fans watch it, that's a little concerning. Then we have Superwise who says, I don't know how stupid Sony and the director would have to be to literally spoil their own movie a week before its release. Like, wow, so many people wanted to see this for the Spider-Verse connections. I'll say this, I don't think the director should really get any blame because I feel like Sony probably called them up and said, hey, there's nothing to be excited for, so just let them know the post credit. And then we have Superwise says, and now it's been revealed if Morbius does terrible at the box office, this is why low. Well, I don't think this is like this. I don't think this is the reason it flops. I think the reason why it flops is because the trailers and the commercials have like something I like to do is so I have a couple of close friends who aren't big into movies, so they don't keep up with movies, and the only information they have is from me because they don't keep up with it. And so I made the test, and I made them watch Morbius, and all of their reactions was, I mean, it looks decent. Like the job of a trailer is to do two things: explain what the movie is going to be about, and explain what the movie is going to be about, and bump up your excitement, no matter how low or how high your excitement is, and bump it up a couple of notches. Every trailer, that's their job: excite you even if you weren't excited. Morbius hasn't really done that for most people. And I think that's gonna be the reason why the movie doesn't do well financially. But hey, look, I'm still gonna hope this movie pulls up an upset. I really hope that on Thursday when I do my review for Morbius, I really hope that on Thursday I look back at this stream and think, wow, that was a shitty prediction, Isaac. I'm gonna hope for that. I'm gonna hope that this movie does well critically, audience wise. It's a good movie and does well financially. That's my hope. I'm gonna hope that I look back and think that was stupid of me. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait till Thursday, or box office wise, we're gonna have to wait for Sunday. But early reactions, we would have to wait for Thursday. And then Superwise says, that being said, I'm still excited for Morbius. Well, hey, look, I'm still looking forward to it. I can't wait for Thursday, but I'll admit this right now. I'm probably gonna have to bring some extra snacks so that I don't fall asleep quickly. But yeah. And then K Dots, oh crap, I accidentally started instead of showing. But K Dot says Morbius isn't enough to help advocate why vampires are people too. Yeah, is the you know what? Kill all vampires. You know what? Nobody cares about vampires. And then RWBY 900 says Morbius really just say Sonic 2 is going to beat it already. I'm not sure what that means. But I already have my tickets for Morbius and Sonic 2. So for 2 weeks in a row, which is funny because when the first Sonic movie came out, for around no wait, no, never mind. Wait. Yeah, no. Okay, now I remember. For 2 weeks in a row, I was watching Birds of Prey on the opening Thursday, and then the next week I watched Sonic. Now Sonic 2 is the first weekend is gonna be Morbius, and then the direct weekend after that is gonna be Sonic 2. So it's a little bit of a coincidence. And then we have Antonio. He says flop because Antonio says, yeah, no one cares about it. It's gonna be boring to be honest. Hey, I'm gonna hope it's not. The bare minimum I'm hoping this movie does is fun to a point where I enjoyed it at least that one, like Uncharted. I know Eddie doesn't like Uncharted, but I thought it was decent. I think it was good enough for me to say, hey, I had fun with it, but I'm not gonna rewatch it. I'm not gonna buy this on Blu-ray, or even if it comes out like on a streaming service that I have, I'm still not gonna rewatch it. But hey, it was fun enough for that one viewing, and that's what I'm gonna hope Morbius is, or that's what I hope every movie is. Really, I hope every movie is good enough. And then we have Antonio. He says it doesn't look like it'll be a fun, goofy, or guilty pleasure movie like the Venom movies. I'll say maybe there's like one scene that makes it sound like that, which is that one scene with or no, two scenes. There's a scene where he says, I am Venom, and then he just says, I'm just kidding. And then the other one is when Tyrese Gibson's character or his partner has like that. I don't know much about like exorcisms and Catholicism, but it's like that salt, like to scare away spirits. I don't know much about that, but I found that funny. Also, I noticed they don't seem to be promoting Tyrese Gibson that much. Yeah, I know. Look, he's not the biggest actor, but you would think that they would kind of promote him a little bit, especially because the rest of the cast isn't all that popular. But yeah, and then we have Antonia that says, yeah, Morbius isn't popular like the Venom character. Yeah, I agree. Like the one benefit Venom had prior to it is that most of the general audience already knew who Venom was. And then we have Kavari in the chat says, I always knew this movie was gonna suck. I'll say it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago where I thought this movie's probably not gonna do any good. But I don't think I asked Eddie this. Eddie, are you still gonna watch this movie, or are you just gonna sit this one out, or are you just gonna wait till to see the reviews?
No, of course I'm still gonna watch it. Like I said, I'm invested in comic books and superheroes, super villains, so I'm still gonna watch it because of the Marvel brand. Even if it wasn't Marvel, it was just some weird ass vampire movie. I probably still would have watched it to be honest, because it's Jared Leto as the main character. But I do like Morbius. I did know who he was because of cartoons like Spider-Man and animated series. I remember him in a bunch of those episodes. And I am invested in the characters. That this character I think would have made sense to be in MCU, probably to go against like someone like Blade or something like that, maybe,
Mhm.
or potential team up to fight Dracula and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it happened in the show. That's what I'm basing it off. But I like I said, we just gotta wait and see what happens. If the movie's good. Look, the movie's good, and people still shit on it, like how they did with Venom. And I kind of think Venom's like it's like this to me. But if I feel the same way for Morbius, I'll definitely say, oh no, this is kind of actually good. F critics. But like I said, there's no cry for people being excited about this movie at all, and they keep promoting it, but people aren't really talking about it. I mean, one person is, but I'm not gonna get to that. But let's just say it's a person that has Geralt of Rivia on his profile on Twitter. That's all I'll say. Um, but no, I expected all this to happen. Even when the movie's good, critics are still gonna shit on it. But I don't know about the. Like I said, it feels like more like everyone's shitting on it though in general. While the movie even releasing, or all the controversies that are already apparent, it's like damn. It's so when a director comes out and spoils a movie on his own, it's like that's something's up.
Yeah, it screams unconfidence, and I'm glad you brought this up. But I won't deny it right now, even though I'm still looking forward to Morbius. If this movie didn't have Jared Leto, nor was it Marvel, probably wouldn't have watched it. Like, let's say this was a random vampire movie with an unknown actor without the Marvel brand attached to it, I won't deny it. I probably wouldn't be looking forward to it. But either way, since it is attached to Marvel and it is Jared Leto, I'm gonna hope I'm gonna at least hope it's a decent movie. And then Kavari brings up something. He says, "Are the Boss Logic Green Lantern Twitter post real?" I'll be honest, I haven't seen any of them. Eddie, do you know anything about this?
He did have. It's weird because when Wayne T. Card showed the pic of him as Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut, a couple days later, Boss Logic came out with concept art. He said it was concept art of Sterling K. Brown as John Stewart and two other actors, one as Jessica Cruz and someone else as I forgot who. But
Mhm.
that's what he said. That's all it was. Like, it was just random shit he did just for fun. But then all the Snyder fans attacked him instantly, saying, did WB pay you to do this? WB chill. Wayne T. Carr is our Green Lantern, this and that." They were coming out of the soul. And I was like, damn, this is just concept art. And the weird thing about it is, look, it does say HBO Max on the bottom, but like I said, he probably just made some concept art of a potential show that would have been interesting towards him with a specific actor. In my opinion, Sterling K. Brown's probably too old to play John Stewart. Like I imagine John Stewart to be at least being like in his late 30s maybe, but it is what it is when it comes to that. It's like it was so weird that people were coming at it. So and he kept on saying, "No, it's just me for to be fun." I just wanted to do this concept. Like, I don't know. They were coming at his life. That's all I know. But it's expected when you do something like that against their narrative. Not to get into that topic. I'm just saying general.
No, it's fine. Today, I don't even have any specific topics. So if you guys in the chat or if Eddie or anyone wants to bring up any topic, this is the stream to do it because I have no topics. I literally just brought up that Morbius stuff out of the top of my head, but always remembers. Does bring up something. He says, "I watched the new Daniel Radcliffe movie, The Lost City. It was stupid, 10%, but 10% better than Uncharted. If you want to get stupid fun, I recommend it." I'll say this. Um, I didn't even know about the Lost City until when I went to go watch the Batman. The trailer came out, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a Sandra Bullock movie with Channing Tatum." I still wasn't interesting, but then when I saw the trailer, I won't deny I was laughing a lot because that trailer was funny. Then when Brad Pitt makes a special appearance in the trailer, I was laughing even more. So I'll admit this right now. I did want to watch it, but I decided I'm just gonna wait for the reviews, which is a little hypocritical of me because this channel is started off as a movie review channel, and you would think a movie review channel would watch a movie even without the reviews. I don't know, but I'm glad you liked it. I think it looks fun. It looks enjoyable. If Morbius ends up being way worse than what we even imagine, um, I'll probably consider watching that movie after just so that I can at least wash out the bad taste. But it is what it is. And then Kavari says crazy Snyder cultist. That's a word. Anytime anyone uses that word, it triggers some people the wrong way. But and then we have Snyder Stefan. If he says sup Isaac and Eddie lol, and Snyder Stefan says it was the Snyder stands Eddie, not Snyder fans. Most Snyder fans didn't care. Boss Logic posted.
Okay, you know that I'll say this in terms of It's weird because I'm sorry, but either with the Snyder's, I know there's Snyder stands, there's Snyder fanatics, there's Snyder fans, stands, fanatics, extremists. I will say to this, I think all of them in general probably had concerns about it. Yes, I think the Snyder fans can lean that way to be stands, but this I think the majority of the Snyder fans are the logical ones that are saying, it is what it is. I don't. This is probably just concept, but no, the outspoken ones, the ones who are so called leaders or the so-called this or that. I said it before. Those are the ones that are toxic, the echo chambers and high mind people. They were always talking shit. And obviously, like I said, since those people have so much of a reach in the fandom, they're the ones that because obviously they say shit that everyone wants to hear and they agree with. They were the ones that were coming at Boss Logic saying, "Oh, this is a conspiracy." Like they were basically having their own tinfoil hats about the whole thing and making a big problem out of it. But in my head, I was like, it is what it is when it comes to them. They're gonna get mad no matter what. Um, like I don't know. They claim they're DC fans, but I keep saying this bullshit every day.
Yeah, and one thing that disappoints me. So I'll say this, like Eddie brought it up. Most Snyder fans you talk to are nice people, or at least good enough to where you can at least talk to them. But the reality is, and I think this applies to any fandom, really, Marvel, especially Star Wars, any fandom really. Every fandom has that bad side, and the Snyder stuff. I mean, not the, I almost said Snyder stuff. The Snyder fandom has that bad side, and when I make videos talking about it, every time I get, "Oh, the entire Snyder fandom isn't toxic." Well, of course I know that because I'm part of it. But I see a lot of these major, or at least the people who are like the front runners of the Snyder fandom, or are, the ones with the large accounts. I'm not going to say names, but you guys can interpret who I'm saying. All I say this is a lot of them seem to gaslight because on YouTube, and this isn't just movie fandom, on YouTube and social media in general, when you find success in one area, your main thing to do now is use that area and try to profit as much as you can from that specific thing that got you there. And I ran into that problem last year. Um, so I was making videos on like Andy Signor, I was making videos on Jody's Corner, and I started noticing I got a lot of views from them. And for a while, I was just constantly making videos on them until I realized that's not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. So I separated myself and I took a break from making those kinds of videos and then went back to doing my regular movie talk things. And of course, my viewership lowered, but to me, I care more about you guys hearing my authentic self rather than me just using the one. And I won't deny it. There have been times on YouTube where I did what got me more views rather than do what I truly believed. Um, and the thing that sucks is that in the Snyder fandom, there's a lot of them there, and I don't just say this because I'm biased, but I really wish more people, or at least more of the big faces in the Snyder fandom, were more like Enosh from Point Extra Lounge, because he calls out the toxic ones, he calls out the BS, and he seems to be rational. And and even though he promotes the frick out of the fandom, he promotes the heck out of anything Zack Snyder related, and he has even talked to Ray Porter. I almost said Ryan, but Ray Porter, uh, Ray Fisher. He's talked to what's the guy who was supposed to play Jon Stewart? Crap, what's his name? Uh, what was it? I can't remember. Wayne T. Carr. Wayne T. Carr. That's his name. And I still see people who hate Enosh because they think that I don't know. I've heard like fake rumors, and I'm not just saying this because you guys already know I'm friends with Enosh. I go on his stream sometimes, but I really wish more people are like him because he's nice and he's calm, and I just wish more people are like that, and it frustrates me so much. And I don't want to bring up this guy's name again because last time I did, I got into some trouble. But some of you guys know who I'm saying. But this guy seems, or not Enosh, but this other guy that I don't really want to say his name because I don't want any bullshit. But every time it seems like all he's doing is he's gaslighting people to a certain narrative without any proof. And then one of my biggest frustrations with the Snyder fandom is too many Snyder fans believe Like they believe they know everything. Like when I hear people talking about the Discovery merger, they're like, "Oh, I know that." All they're thinking about is how they're gonna restore the Snyderverse. Dude, that's not the first thing they're thinking about. I mean, sure, they probably have a department thinking about it, but Discovery ain't thinking about just doing that. And that's the thing that frustrates me. But, anyways, I'm gonna move on before I go a little ranty. But Mando Man comments. He says, what is a comic book or comic book series do you want to be turned into a movie or show? Honestly, don't really care too much about that. I've always believed that it doesn't matter which character, movie or show, or not movie or show, which character, which plot line, whichever storyline. I've never really cared too much about that because I don't think that's going to make a good movie. But if I'm going to be honest, it would probably be the Flashpoint storyline, which is my favorite storyline of all time in any comic book series. I would love to, and I'm not. Of course, I know the new Flash movie is inspired off Flashpoint, but I'm saying like an authentic Flashpoint. Where you see Thomas Wayne, you see, there's post-apocalyptic world where the Atlanteans and the Amazonians are at war. I would like to see that, and you see skinny Superman who never found his Paul Kent. I like that, but yeah. And then Snyder Stefano says, "Thank you, Eddie. Lol. The minority in the fandom are the echo chamber and the clowns. The minority are Snyder stands who don't read DC comics, but the minority, sadly, are the loudest." Yeah, sadly, like that. Oh, to be fair, I'll say this right now. Let me. I don't mean I read that little part. I'll let Eddie respond after this, but I don't think you have to read any comics to be labeled a DC nor Marvel fan. I think to me, the only thing that labels you a fan is if you enjoy that thing you're a fan of. But Eddie, would you like to respond to Snyder Steppenwolf?
No, I think it's true that a minor. It's hard to say. I want to say minority, but there are enough people to say it is a big enough crowd. But I do agree that those echo chambers and hive mind people are the faces of the fandom and are the loudest. And when it comes to the regular people in the Snyder fandom, are like, damn, these people are just mental or something. But that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. And then he says, yeah, every fandom is toxic. I'm in the MCU fandom, Star Wars fandom. The toxicity is there in every fandom. Yeah, every fandom has that. Now, the reason why I talk mainly about the Snyder fandom is because I'm, my channel, I won't deny it. The reason why a lot of people are subscribed to me is because I talked a lot about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I won't deny it. And that's why I talk so much about it, because I do think that most of my subscribers are Snyder fans, and so that's who I talk to. And look, Marvel, Star Wars, you guys know definitely how toxic Star Wars is. Um, but every fandom does have that bad side to them. And look, remember, and when Endgame came out, there was a guy who got beat up because he was spoiling Endgame in front of theaters. Now, to be honest, that guy was an idiot, but I don't, I'm not somebody who's for physical violence. And every fandom has that bad side, except what I think is important is for those good people in each fandom to call it out. When you have a friend who's toxic or something, you call it out. Like, and anytime I'm close to somebody and somebody close to me says something stupid, I'll tell them that's pretty stupid. You got to call it out, so that way they improve from it. And that's why I talk so much about the Snyder fandom. And yeah, and then Kavaris says Sill's channel has become a chill out spot for the crazies. I won't deny it. A lot of the I said I wouldn't talk about him. I won't talk too much about him, but a lot of Sill's audience, they believe so much. Oh my god, man, I'm getting crap. Why the weird bots just send you porn links? What? Oh my god, they were spamming the chat. Holy crap! I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know how the YouTube hasn't cracked on that. But anyways, where was I? Um, Snyder Stefano says exactly. I call out the Snyder stands as well, but I don't generalize the entire fandom, all because a few idiots on Twitter. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think everyone should think that way. With any fandom really, or any group of people, any group of people. Um, but yeah. And then Snyder Stefano says, I gotta go, y'all. Take care. I'll see you later, Snyder Stefano. And then Antonio. By the way, thank you, Antonio. Antonio is one of our mods. He timed out. He timed out the bots, but he says, "What about when MCU fans send death threats to that John Walker actor or Wyatt Russell?" Yeah, I remember there were death threats to him. I remember a lot of people expected Wyatt Russell to all of a sudden turn into a white supremacist. I remember it was so crazy. Even my sister, she was like, "Oh, I believe he's gonna turn into a white supremacist. He's gonna reveal he is," and he never did. I was like, they never hinted at it. I would assume if you're gonna go with a major storyline like that, you would probably hint towards it. But yeah, a lot of people really hated Wyatt Russell because he replaced Captain America. And I remember even at the time, I made a video saying, "Hey guys, this is an actor. He's just doing his job." It's like com- it's like a it's like getting mad at a construction worker for building a house at a place you didn't want that house built. The construction worker's just doing he's just there to collect his paycheck, man. He's not the one who decided that the house has got to be there. But it is what it is. Antonio says these dark web bots. And then always remember says, uh, what was just happened? The F is that naked Ash. I don't know. YouTube has this bad issue of having weird Russian bots. But anyways, I'm gonna end off the stream because I am gonna be on a later stream, like in an hour, and I want to get some rest. But before I go, Eddie, do you have any final words before we end off the stream?
Yeah, just in terms of Morbius, it is what it is. That movie fails, it flops, or has bad word of mouth. It's just how it is. I guess people just don't like the Snyderverse as much as Sony wants to push it. In terms of the Snyder fandom or the Snyderverse, it is what it is when it comes to that as well. I just can't really say anything. I really don't know. I really don't know. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, doesn't. Don't believe everyone or believe people just because you want to hear what they want to say or you agree with it, even though it has no you can't prove that any of that stuff is happening. And yes, when it comes to specific channels, I'm not gonna get into details, but if you want to be an echo chamber or live in that type of bubble where it's just it's not really realistic or you don't want to hear other opinions, they stay that way. As for me, I'm still gonna be a DC fan no matter what, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wait, but before one, I think something we gotta ask Eddie because I know everyone in the stream wants to ask you, what kinds of guns do you think Batman should use?
And I want to unless it's a grapple gun. I don't want to say anything else. But like I said, even though those scenes were cool, I'd rather him not do that. And yes, I do know that whole nightmare scene wasn't real at all. But still, it's like Batman, cut it out. And, especially when you killed a bunch of people in the Batmobile too. It's like, damn, bro, get out of here with that.
But anyways, thank you guys for being here. I'll come back to streaming on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, but awards coming on Tuesday, guys, and just be on the lookout for the multiversal saga. It's going to be a project that I'm working on for this upcoming week. But anyways, thank you guys for being here. Let me actually read Always Remembers comment. He says, and also MCU fans sent death threats to Scarlet Witch actress Elizabeth Olsen, and says I forgot her name. Sorry. For not saying rest in peace to Black Panther actor. I actually watched Black Panther last week, and I hadn't seen it in years. And when I watched it, I was like, "Holy crap! This movie is much better than I remember it being." But I guess Black Panther is that kind of movie that I just end up. I'll admit the one thing that I don't like. I don't even know why I'm talking about Black Panther now, but the one thing I don't like about Black Panther is that final fight between Killmonger and T'Challa, where it's both of them are wearing CGI cat costumes, except one has a little bit of purple and the other has a little bit of orange. I'll admit that fight looked really bad. But it is what it is. Also, on Twitter, there's been this image of Flash Thompson when he finds out Peter's Spider-Man. That image has been getting really popular. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Marvel can't afford good. Why can't they just
Yeah,
film
I
this
seen it.
outside?" All
It blew
that.
up because of the CGI shit that I used for the background that wasn't real. It blew up, and people were
Yeah,
saying, "Damn, like the budget." They were comparing it to other movies too.
yeah, it was crazy. Maybe I'll talk about it Monday. But anyways, I gotta go, guys. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys Monday. Bye bye. Oh crap! I